Alright, let's get into the messy, wild, and totally unbelievable truth behind what just went down. Scrappy, the man who made a career out of flexing, fighting, and charming the camera, is now officially on the receiving end of handcuffs and flashing cameras. But before we get to the dramatic moment where the law finally caught up to him, let's rewind and look at the scandal in full for K. First off, who are the main players here? Obviously, we have Bambi, the queen of composure turned queen of receipts. The woman who finally decided she had enough of being edited, scripted, and villainized for ratings. Then there's Scrappy, whose charm may have fooled fans, but behind closed doors he was allegedly plotting, manipulating, and literally scripting Bambi's public breakdown for maximum TV drama. And of course, Tasha K, who in a twist no one saw coming, walks free, smirking like she's just cracked the juiciest story of her career. Now, let's talk backstory. Because the drama didn't start yesterday. Remember all those episodes where Bambi seemed overly emotional or unpredictable? Well, according to sources who have never been wrong, those moments were orchestrated. Producers allegedly tracked her emotional triggers, kept meticulous notes on her reactions, and handed them directly to Scrappy and certain cast members. And yes, anonymous insiders confirmed there were entire internal memos titled things like Bambi breaking points. Season 12, you thought reality TV was spontaneous? Think again. It was more like a twisted social experiment with cameras instead of electrodes. Scrappy, the man who once prided himself on charm and street credibility, suddenly found himself on the wrong side of headlines, handcuffs, and an audience that no longer bought his act. It all started when Bambi, the quiet, composed, and underestimated star of the show, decided she had enough of being manipulated, edited, and framed for drama she never created. What seemed like random emotional breakdowns on camera were anything but spontaneous. Sources from deep inside the production reveal meticulous notes, secret memos, and entire schedules devoted to monitoring Bambi's triggers. Scrappy allegedly had access to these, using them not only to predict her reactions, but to encourage and escalate situations for maximum ratings. The leak suggests that certain episodes were carefully engineered so that Bambi would appear unstable, while he positioned himself as a calm, sympathetic counterpart. Fans might have thought they were watching reality unfold naturally, but behind the scenes it was calculated, orchestrated, and potentially illegal manipulation. Even more shocking is that Tasha K, the media figure who had previously been painted as an antagonist, suddenly walked free, apparently cooperating with Bambi's team to expose the entire operation. Rumors say she had secretly collected documents, screenshots, and even audio recordings that confirmed what many suspected, but no one could prove. The pieces of the puzzle started falling together, with alarming clarity, showing a pattern of control, exploitation, and blatant disregard for mental health in pursuit of ratings. Scrappy's lavish lifestyle during this time only added fuel to the fire. While orchestrating Bambi's public breakdowns, he was reportedly dining at high-end restaurants, buying luxury cars, and flaunting his wealth on social media, all while ignoring the emotional and legal consequences of his actions. Anonymous insiders claim there were off-camera meetings where producers laughed over strategies designed to manipulate cast members into scripted chaos, noting precisely how far each person could be pushed without causing real harm that might halt production. Fans began noticing discrepancies as clips leaked online, showing moments that never aired, conversations that contradicted the broadcast storylines, and evidence that the show's narrative had been rewritten multiple times to paint Bambi as unstable and Scrappy as a victim. The leaks included private emails between producers discussing the potential fallout if these manipulations were exposed, revealing a culture that prioritized drama and ratings over truth or ethics. As the scandal began to surface, social media erupted with confusion, anger, and speculation. Viewers started piecing together what had happened, noticing patterns, referencing timestamps, and comparing aired episodes to behind-the-scenes footage that somehow found its way online. Even longtime fans were shocked to see how meticulously Bambi had been cornered, and how she managed to gather the courage, legal support, and evidence necessary to fight back. It wasn't just one video, one conversation, or one heated exchange. It was months of careful observation, recording, and planning that culminated in a single moment where she finally said enough. The courtroom filings revealed a chain of events that implicated not only Scrappy, but also producers and executives who were complicit in creating and exploiting these situations. Bambi's legal team coordinated with Tasha K and other whistleblowers to compile a comprehensive dossier including transcripts, burner phone recordings, and unedited footage that left little doubt about the manipulation that occurred. By the time Scrappy realized the scope of what he was facing, the wheels were already in motion. Emergency motions, subpoenas, and protective orders were filed, creating a media frenzy as journalists and bloggers scrambled to cover the unraveling story. Scrappy's panic was reportedly palpable. Insiders describe him hiding in his own home, checking phones obsessively, and trying to track what Bambi's team would release next. Meanwhile, Bambi maintained a calm, almost clinical composure, knowing each step she took would escalate the pressure on the network, the producers, and Scrappy himself. The fallout was immediate, chaotic, and intense, setting the stage for a showdown that would expose corruption, manipulation, and abuse of power in ways no one expected. The public began to realize that what they had been watching for years as entertainment was in fact a carefully manufactured narrative, designed to profit from human emotion, while sacrificing the dignity and mental health of those involved. Every leak, every secret recording, and every whistleblower testimony added layers to the story, making it impossible to ignore the scale of the deception. The tension built steadily as Bambi's evidence started to surface, leaving Scrappy cornered, and the network scrambling to control damage, unaware that the real game had already been won by the woman they had underestimated for too long. As the evidence continued to surface, the public reaction was immediate and explosive, with fans, bloggers, and commentators dissecting every clip, every recording, and every leaked message. People who had long followed the drama finally began to see the reality behind the camera, and the narrative that had been fed to them for years started to crumble. Scrappy, once the charming bad boy, was now portrayed as calculating, manipulative, and complicit in a system designed to exploit his castmates. Anonymous insiders suggested that his panic only grew as each new leak hit the internet. His social media activity became erratic. He reportedly ignored calls from former allies, and sources say he spent hours in isolation, replaying the moments where Bambi had outsmarted him with meticulous legal precision. Meanwhile, Bambi was methodical and strategic. Each public post, each carefully curated release of footage, and each legal maneuver was calculated to maintain momentum, keeping the public engaged while ensuring that Scrappy and the network could not recover quickly in court filings. Bambi's team presented a mountain of evidence that included unedited confessions, internal emails from producers discussing how to provoke her for maximum drama, and documents showing deliberate misrepresentation of events. These revelations not only implicated Scrappy but also cast a spotlight on executives who had prioritized ratings over ethics, revealing a culture of coercion, manipulation, and unchecked power. Tasha K, walking free after cooperating, became a focal point for public discussion, teasing new revelations on social media and hinting at insider knowledge that promised to be even more explosive. Reports from supposed sources close to the set detailed lavish parties, secret meetings, and backstage chaos that painted a picture of a reality show far darker than its polished on-screen portrayal. Viewers were stunned to learn about the lengths producers allegedly went to manipulate outcomes, from rewriting dialogue to arranging confrontations that appeared spontaneous but were anything but. Scrappy's fall from grace was accelerated by viral clips that highlighted his complicity, with footage showing him laughing about manipulated fights and orchestrated scenarios that humiliated Bambi and other cast members. The internet erupted with outrage, with debates and hashtags trending as people called for accountability from everyone involved. Celebrities and former cast members began speaking out, corroborating parts of Bambi's story and revealing additional instances of mistreatment. Even casual viewers who had only tuned in for entertainment started to understand the systemic issues behind the show. Brands quickly reacted, pulling sponsorships and reconsidering partnerships with the network, which created a financial ripple effect that intensified the pressure on executives. Behind the scenes, internal memos circulated with panic-stricken instructions to delete emails, secure footage, and manage public relations. But the damage had already been done. Bambi's calm, steady approach contrasted sharply with the chaos surrounding her adversaries, and her ability to control the narrative elevated her from a reality star to a symbol of resistance against exploitation. By the time the first court hearing occurred, Scrappy was facing the full weight of public scrutiny, legal challenges, and personal accountability. Reports described him as shell-shocked, struggling to respond as prosecutors presented evidence of manipulation, falsified narratives, and deliberate emotional sabotage. His attorney reportedly had little recourse as new material continued to surface, proving that the network and its talent had engaged in coordinated schemes that went far beyond what the public had ever imagined. Meanwhile, Bambi maintained focus, coordinating with legal teams, whistleblowers, and media outlets to ensure every piece of information was accurate, documented, and ready to use in court or broadcast to the public. The tension was palpable, with every new leak prompting immediate analysis, speculation, and debate. The spectacle extended beyond the courtroom as social media amplified every revelation, turning what might have been a contained legal matter into a viral phenomenon that captivated millions. Each clip, quote, and document reinforced Bambi's position as both victim and strategist, someone who had survived manipulation, exposed wrongdoing, and now wielded power over a system that had underestimated her. By the time the dust settled on this chapter, it was clear that nothing would ever be the same for Scrappy, the producers, or the network. The scandal had rewritten the rules, shifting public perception, altering careers, and proving that carefully documented truth, when released strategically, could topple even the most seemingly untouchable figures. So now that you've seen the chaos, the leaks, and the receipts, here's the real question. What are you going to do with this information? Are you going to sit back and let the network and their cast of scripted chaos fool the public again? Or are you going to demand accountability, truth, and justice for every manipulated breakdown, every edited confession, and every calculated move designed to profit off real people's emotions? Bambi flipped the script, exposed the lies, and turned the tables in a way that no one expected. But this story isn't over. The industry is watching, the executives are panicking, and the fans have the power to keep the pressure on. Do you let them get away with it? Or do you join the conversation, call out the manipulation, and make your voice heard? Comment below with your thoughts, your hot takes, and even your wildest theories. Because this isn't just entertainment, it's a wake-up call. Hit that like button if you believe the truth matters more than scripted drama. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next bombshell, the next leak, or the next revelation. We're not just watching the story unfold, we're uncovering it together. And trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. ****.